welcome back to the YZG podcast. We've got a bit of a special one today. We've got two guests with us, so strap yourselves in. It's going to be a good one. First off, we have next to me Mr. James Courtney, Bear Supercars. How are you?
I'm always good, mate. Anytime I wake up, I'm good.
Fantastic. And then next to James, we have Maddox Gibbs, who is our other YTG-sponsored racing driver, who is with Racing with Autism. So introduce yourself, mate. How are you?
So, good. Yourself?
Good, thank you.
So, my name's Maddox. I drive the V79 4500 on Speedway, so like dirt. I run a Yamaha R6 engine in it. Top speeds is 130 to 140 k's down the back, going sideways.
Nice. Sideways, yeah.
Yeah, sideways all the way.
Yeah.
I started off in go-karts when I was 7 for a couple of years, and then bought a Hyundai Excel when I was 12. Well, me and Dad built it up together, so we could do like a couple of Tampa races. We were going to race a Hyundai Excel, but we decided not to, because my uncle, who used to drive one, just gets taken out too many times by these other body enough drivers on the track. And then we went back to, so he of course bought the sprint car again, did a couple races, had issues with that. I bought the 4500. Then he decided to sell the 4500, then, well, the sprint car, sorry, and then we all combined it up and just played 4500 racing. Then I bought his car off him and just playing around, getting dirty, not crashing it, trying not to crash it as much so I don't have to spend so much body money on it. Done that a couple times, regret doing that and learned the hard way.
I think every racing car driver has their... we won't talk about the last round in Newcastle.
That was the shadow.
Yeah,
Shadows.
the shadow in my brain.
Get it out of the way at the start of the year, then off we go.
Yeah, exactly
We
right.
had an awesome race this week.
Ticked it off. So I think, Sean, you should probably talk a bit about Racing with Autism and how that all fits into it.
Well, look, I mean, I'm just sitting here a little bit in awe, actually. I mean, you know, the growth and the blessings we've had, really, in the last year and a half. Hey, Nico, from where we started to, you know, a year and a half, not even, when I was looking at photos where there was absolutely nothing here and just working out, okay, this is the plan and how we are. And my goal was always to one day be able to be in a position where, you know, we're the smallest fish in the pond, but, you know, we're grateful that thanks to James that we're able to get in the big league now and be involved with James. And, you know, we're looking at a long, huge future together. And from that, obviously with Racing with Autism, which was the charity that was very, very close to me, and then had the fortunate situation of meeting, Jess from Racing with Autism was the founder, and through that, from our Cars and Caviar night, which we had, which was to raise money for RWAA and Kick for Life, we were fortunate to meet young Maddox, and through that, we just really connected, and I felt like when we weren't able to jump on board and assist in any way we can, we were, and now, you know, we're probably going to get behind him. So technically, I feel very humbled and very grateful that I'm sitting here. But obviously, the elephant in the room is everyone's watching. Yes, we're in.
They're all very different.
We're in JC's racing suits. No, we're not. The Tickford lineup. That's not going to happen. We're
Car drivers.
But yeah, we did a bit of fun. Mate, I need liposuction to get into the bloody thing. But yeah, look, JC was kind enough to bring the suits and we put it on for a bit of fun. But again, really coming back to it, I really feel very, very, very grateful and very blessed that we're able to get involved with both of you guys. And you know, you're a champion, mate, and we want to see you go as far as you possibly can. And we're really going to get behind you. And you know, we're just blessed to be with JC in the big league that he's allowed us to be there. And you know, we're very grateful. We're very prominent on the helmet this racing weekend. We're already on there, and then JC was able to allow us to get on the visor. So yeah, we're Mate, we're really stoked, and we're grateful that we've had a little bit of success, and that's due to the growth we've had in a year and a half, and we're just blown away by that we're able to now do some good stuff with two brilliant people and two brilliant ambassadors, and yeah, for me especially to be in the V8s is really anyone knows we're just so taken back, and I just can't be thankful enough to James, and now like I said, with a bit of good prosperity, we're really looking forward to getting behind you, Maddox, mate. We want to see you kick ass.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, and that's pretty much where we're at. And now, of course, we're here sitting here in this podcast in full Tickford kit.
I got lucky. I dodged the bullet.
He was really upset that he didn't have.
So like I said, this is really about you guys having you on board of the podcast, and obviously F1 this weekend. So, mate, we're stoked with that. My true colours, as anyone knows me, true colours are on underneath. I did that at the Ferrari box ages ago, and I walked in Vodafone McLaren, and they weren't happy about that. Well, straight as when Lewis was still with McLaren back in 09. We walked in full kit into the Ferrari box, and we're like, get out. So, no, mate, we're looking forward to it. We're going to be at the F1 this weekend. We're with McLaren, which we're looking forward to. We're going to be in the pitch with McLaren, and then we're going to go and hang out with JC and awesome weekend. It's our time, man. This is the time for motor industry, motorsport, everything for Victoria, Australia, and obviously we've got GP2 and GP3, which I've never had before, which is
that
gonna
is
be epic.
cool.
That's going to be epic, man. Yeah. Got a lot of clients going on the storage, which is grouse. There's a few cars that we've sold that are going to be out in the storage, which is really good. We have a lot of clients actually out there. It's a real good diversity. Cobras and Lolas and Panteras and, some really good stuff. Really good stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. So, Maddox, you had a race meeting last weekend, right?
Yeah.
So how did that go?
It wasn't too bad. We did have a couple of issues with the car. One of them was the brake.
Can't help it.
Who needs brakes though? What we all said.
It's brakes.
But we're lucky enough to not get cop dust into the air, the engine, where it could have went kaboom. Because the air filter on top of the carbies was loose, and if we're lucky to have a red flag in the third heat, well, we would have been screwed for the final.
So you were able to shut the engine down before.
Yeah, I was just trying to. Well, I was off winning for one lap, and then the red came out, of course, because some drivers don't know how to drive like usual. Crash on the first corner. First corner, first lap. But yeah. But the first couple of heats was alright. Started off rear for the first heat and then made up to 8th or 7th.
Yeah.
Then started off second for the second heat and was waiting for, I think it was a couple laps, and then dropped down third and finished third. Then that put me second for the third heat, and that's where all these issues started.
And you've got one more, is there one more race still? Yeah.
Yeah, we got one more round. It's the last and final points round before I go up to seniors.
Yep.
With the big bloody fucking boys, you want to say it? Not looking forward to it, but then I am looking forward to it, so...
Don't be worried about you, mate. Don't be worried about
coming out there and beat them all.
That's it. That's it.
But nah, it's exciting to go up there, drive with some different drivers, have more cars out there. We go like over 50 cars in one whole race.
Really?
Not in one whole race, but we had to split it up. Sure, like 10 cars in each heat. So then we have like a C main, a D main, and a B main.
Yeah.
Then you all like top 6 in the B transfer to the A. Then we'll back up the A and then see how you go.
And is it the same car you're racing, but just you increase the power of it? No, it's the same car.
It's the same car, taking the restrictor plate out and putting the fuel injection on it.
Okay.
So that doesn't have to. Sook about cleaning the garbage is actually fucking great. yeah.
Shocking, Phil. You'll be told.
Yeah, he hates cleaning it after every race. It like takes you like 30 to half an hour to an hour to clean the bloody fucking thing. It's a pain.
So we won't have that problem anymore.
Nah, hopefully not.
And you excited about next year?
Yeah, look.
Oh, sorry, this year. Sorry, we're talking about.
Yeah, looking forward to this year and next year with the seniors. Of course, like we get to do like Victoria titles. Like that's what we had last weekend for the seniors. It was a Victoria title. We're like, what are their support class for the Victoria title? Was go out there, demonstrate. Still try go and do your best. Try not damage the fucking cars like everyone else did. Like 3 cars took each other out. But nah, just looking forward to going up, playing with the big guys and girls, of course.
Is there any girls in the sport?
There is a couple. In my class, there's 3.
Yeah.
In the seniors, I think there's gonna be 3 next season, but there's already 2. Oh, actually no, sorry, I lied. There's 4 in the whole in the seniors. But yeah, there's not many of them. But they are trying to get them in.
Okay, good. You didn't do any speedway, did you do any?
I did one. It wasn't a race. Like it was me just mucking around.
Oh, okay.
With, but I love playing on the dirt. It's so much fun. Like the most fun I've had in the last 3 years would be, it was Darwin 2 years ago. When the COVID thing was on, we got stuck up there for ages. So, and then Cam, through his speedway stuff, my teammate Cam Waters, he had some speedway connection there. So we're bored, and Cam's like, called me up to my room. He goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, just," and then sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, do you want to come speedway karting?" So I'm like,
karting?
"Yeah." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, I don't know what's here." So we went down, and his mate had like a proper speedway out the back of his house, like a little dirt.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he had like, I think it was 6 dirt carts, and we just it was so fun. For the
So
whole
just
day.
the knobbier tyres on it, like R1. Is that like R1's? Ours is a dirt, our cart that we've got?
No, this was like a proper like a
Go-kart?
tarmac go kart.
Oh,
but it was just like it had.
Dirt tires on it.
No, they had dirt tires like wets on the front, like dirt tires on but slicks on the rear. And it was a proper clay little bowl that had sprinklers on and keep it wet and everything.
So it's just constant.
Oh mate, we had so much fun. We were just there all day, just going nuts. It was awesome. But yeah, apart from that, no.
Not much,
I
no.
remember me and Dad doing that in our back paddock with the go-kart track. We he had the Outlaw and I had the Junior out, put all slicks on the front and back. Really? And it was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that again. It was fun.
It's just too hard.
It is hard, but nah, it was the best fun out there.
Mad slide jobs in it. It was like, and because of the clay of dirt, you can roost the hell out of it. So like, you dive bomb and just back in and just spray them with and we didn't have helmets. Safety first. Tim, Edwards, if you're watching, we definitely had helmets.
It was.
But yeah, just like spraying each other. It was so much fun. It was,
What a way to spend COVID, I mean.
yeah, it was good. We didn't get invited back. So I think we went a little too hard, but we had fun.
It's too good.
But yeah, that's my dirt history.
So that's it. No, nothing. You just.
The panic bashes and stuff. But like, because I grew up on acreage, and the guy down the road, his dad was a panel beater. So, and his stepdad had an earth moving business. So through his dad, we got old beat up cars, and his stepdad built like a little track for us with burners and everything. Yeah. And have you ever seen those little Suzuki vans? But they had like the Ute ones.
Yeah.
Not the Jimny, but the like below one.
Yeah.
And that was his panic bash. It was that Suzuki Ute thing. And we had this mad tabletop for our motorbikes, and I said to him, "Oh no, I can get where it's going." So, I reckon we can clear it for Suzuki. So the back paddock of the place next door. No one, there was a vacant block, so we got there.
Good run up.
Probably, we told them we didn't know how the fence broke, but we cut the fence so we could get a better run up. So we drove into the block next door, and we come flying in that little Suzuki. It looked like a loaf of bread in the back yard. Yeah, and we jumped the double. Like we made it. was all so good and we're in the air.
How'd it come down?
It had a mad bounce, and then because it was bouncing, and then we forgot about the berm on the other side. So we landed the double, but then we couldn't stop for the berm, and we sort of, it was still bouncing, and we nosed into the berm and then rolled over forwards. Like nothing. It was so funny. But yeah,
And they're very stable, those little, there's something, high, bound,
that was pretty exciting.
ended as expected.
But then we used to do it, and we got rid of the berm with light fire and jump through.
That's awesome.
Proper kid stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they don't do that now.
No, I was trying to get my little bloke Cadell last weekend had his mate over for the weekend.
Yeah.
And they're like, bored, and they're like, Dad, what can we do? And I'm like, I don't know, what do you guys want to do? Something fun. They're like, oh, let's go to the movies. I'm like, that's not fun. I'm like, why don't you guys throw rocks at things, or at fish, or skin rocks, or start a fire?
That's what we used to
That's what we used to do. But no, they wanted to spend $50 and get it.
Oh. But he doesn't want to go into motorsport. He don't want to.
Cadell has, so back pre, on my practice marriage, I had a business, JC Karts.
Yes.
So we had karts made in Italy, and then we had a little team here, and there was kids that would help and all that sort of stuff, which was awesome. And I got a little kart for Cadell, mate.
Yeah.
And so he came out and he was driving around and he did it. And then had a great time. On the way home, he's sort of sitting in the car and he's all quiet. And I'm like, hey, you're right, mate? Yeah. He said, oh, I'm just thinking, Dad. And I'm like, oh, okay. Just thinking about the day and he's driving.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes later, he says, can I say something, Dad? And I'm like, yeah, mate, say whatever you want. And he's like, is it all right if I don't be a racing driver?
Oh,
And I'm like, mate, you don't have to do whatever you want. And he said, it's just so noisy and hot. And I'm like, mate, don't worry about it.
It's not.
Yeah, so he now gets a new ball every time he wants to play football. It's a lot cheaper than car racing, but no, he's mad about NRL, and now he's like hard into basketball. But yeah, he's more about ball sports.
Balls.
Yeah, but yeah, he toys with the idea every now and then. He calls me, like he'd say, oh, maybe we'll go karting, we'll go and do the high karts and muck around. But he's
But
more
he
of a.
enjoys them. What I mean, like, does he come to the track much with?
No, they don't. They haven't really have any interest in racing. So even like it's weird when I go home, like there's no, hey, how'd you go on the weekend, Dad? But he is now he's a bit older, so he's now 13, so he's starting to watch it a bit more now. He came to a couple of races last year, but it's only now he's a bit older, he's sort of understanding it's.
What about his kids mates in school go, hey, your dad's James Courtney, like, he does, or they're not really, I suppose.
Yeah, because they've grown up with it, so like it's they just think it's weird that people want to get a photo with their dad. They're like, yeah, it's our dad. And like, it's, so it's just something that's not really,
They're probably
sort of out of the ordinary for them. Yeah, it's only when their friends are over and like when I ended up taking him to the bloody movies. And we were at the movies and like there's guys come up, I want to talk to you and get photos, and his little mate's like, oh my God. And then Cadell's like, yeah. So at that point it changes, but it's, I think because it's just their norm. It's,
yeah.
it is what it is.
That's too good.
Yeah. But he's now, probably again shouldn't be saying this, sorry to Ford Astray, but he's now, like as he into his basketball, and I always park my car, I got a Raptor.
Yeah.
Park it, like where I park, it's where his hoop is.
Oh, okay, yep.
And I got sick of moving my car, so I'm like, mate, just drive it, just back it out. So now I watch him, and he's sort of the first time he just backed it back enough. Then he went a bit further. Our driveway's pretty long. Then he went a bit further. Then there's like a parking bit out on the street, and then he went out onto the street.
As you do, he stuck a bit further.
The little bastard last on Sunday. So when I was coming down here, when he went back to his mum's, he went out, and I was sort of looking through the window just to make sure he doesn't.
Of course. Yeah.
And he backed out, and I'm like, oh, where's he going? And then he drove around. He just disappeared. I'm like, oh. And then we've got, sounds creepy, but we've got this
track
app, the Life 360 thing. So then I'm
Right.
straight, my phone's out. I'm like, where's this little bastard going? And I watch it, and I'm like, better go around the block, mate. And he did a lap of the block, and then he came back up into the driveway, and I quickly went and sat down, pretended I didn't even notice, and he walks in and sort of comes past me, he throws me the keys, and I'm like, because that took a while to get the car in, mate. And he goes, oh, I just took it around the block. And it was cool that he told me what he'd done, but he's now just starting to,
As we
come on.
as we did at that age.
Yeah, I wouldn't have asked. Or I didn't ask, sorry. My dad's name's Jim. Sorry, Jim.
Oh, mate, my folks busted us one night, I think 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, Nick was there, pushing Dad's car out. I think we were 16. And because it was on a gravel thing, right? And we were fine. Dad had a Chrysler 215, right? And then he got a Magna of all the fucking things. You should have kept the Chrysler. Anyway, so what did we do? So we're pushing this fucking Magna down the driveway, and it's all. And then next thing you know, my old lady's woken up.
Thinking it's stolen.
Yeah, they don't fucking do it. And then me, Nick, Jimmy, and we're pushing the car out, and we're just going.
There it is.
But you know,
And then just push it back in.
we pushed it out and we just went. I go, mate, I'm already in trouble. Mate, was just going. We did it. We just went. And then, oh, man, I was worried. I go, my old lady will call the cops. Anyway, so, yeah, we only went around the block and that was it. Yeah, we didn't do anything like that. So I just realised.
God, that's funny.
So, yeah, but we just say that was like, that's what we did, mate. I don't see my daughter doing that now.
No, definitely.
Yeah, so, but
also, if you're on a farm at that age, you sort of can drive. But where we live in the middle of suburbia, where's a 13-year-old going to take a car?
well,
Anyway,
Different ballgame.
well,
Different
mate.
game.
So, yeah, interesting. So you're excited for this weekend?
Yeah, I'm really excited to do a little bit of racing. I missed out on a little bit last one.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Newcastle.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Oh, do you think Newcastle as a opener with the track and
Yeah,
cars?
actually, it's a great event. It's huge crowds, great on the television stuff. But as for a racing track, it's quite tight, so it's hard to pass. As a team, when we rolled out, we weren't strong enough in the first session, but we worked really well as a group. Get the cars towards the front. Cam and I should have been in the 10 on Saturday. There's a yellow flag, so my time didn't get allowed. But yeah, then on Saturday again in the race, just a few little things. Cam ended up winning with the Triple Eight guy thrown out, which was quite a huge call.
Did you go from 10 to 8?
Yeah, so we ended up 8th, but the drama with our thing was our whole shifting, so the whole mechanism for the gear shift, so the gearbox is in the back, but there's a whole sort of tower beside us with a shifter on it, and that all came loose. So it was changing itself, and so in the end I had to drive one-handed holding it in gear, and then when you change. So it was pretty tough at the end, but we ended up 8th, which was good.
Awesome.
So your arm destroyed from driving in Mike.
This one wasn't bad. This one was, we were just playing up through a lot of it, and it was probably the last 20 laps where it was bad. Brutal. Yeah. It was really tough. I know, because we were
Especially that.
close.
So tonight, this, that, and you need, oh, mate.
But yeah, and then the next day, obviously got into 10,
Yeah.
slightly clipped the wall, and yeah, then it wasn't good for us. So that was frustrating. But as a group, I think we worked well to get good car speed. We had both cars in the 10.
Yeah.
And Thomas wasn't far out.
Yeah.
And Declan, it's his first year. He's sort of getting to know everything. Never been to the track before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was quite promising. So we obviously roll into, was it the Grand Prix this weekend? We had our
The track, do you guys like it?
they changed it this year, or last year they changed it, and they took away probably a key passing place in that, it used to come around to that 90, where it was turn 9, 10.
Yep.
And now that's just all open.
Sleepy, yeah.
So it's not, sort of takes away a passing opportunity, with our cars being less aerodynamic.
Right. So they did it for DRS for Formula 1.
Yeah, they did.
All they've done is hurt you.
Yeah, and then also with our cars now, with the aerodynamics being taken, like 30% or 70% of whatever it is being taken off, it's going to be pretty sketchy. So turn 8, where that new complex is, it was just flat in our cars last year, and this year predicting is going to be quite a big lift.
Really?
So it's going to be an interesting
That's just
weekend.
purely because she's not on the road and just...
Yeah, because they said it's about, through that speed at that point, it's about 150 kilos difference in downforce.
Shit.
So yeah, it's going to be pretty sketchy through that back section now. Last year also we had a big tyre drama. We ran the soft, and the guys had big drama with it blistering and exploding.
Yes.
So last year we ran the soft, so to fix that this year we're running the super soft.
So,
How's that going to help?
well,
Is this
So-
going to make it worse?
Yeah, maybe.
Well-
but yeah, so we're not sure how the tire's going to hang on and work. So, no, so they're thinking because it was slipping around more, so then the surface temperature gets hotter, so then it blisters below the surface, and then it pops with a softer compound. It's hoping that it grips better, so then you don't get as much slide, so then it doesn't overheat the surface, and then it doesn't blister, and then it doesn't.
Wow.
So there's theory behind it.
They're hoping? Or
Yeah, hoping. They don't know. And our races at the Grand Prix are super short. So we've got 180 and 270k races.
Oh,
So they're not our normal race distance. So the tyre doesn't have to hang on that long. So it's
points though, isn't it?
yeah, still points. So we get points for all 4 races. Thursday we have 2 practice sessions, 2 qualifying sessions and a race.
Okay.
Friday just a race. Saturday 2 qualifying and a race, and Sunday just a race.
The race.
So what we'll do as a group, we're rolling out. All cars are going to be pretty near the same, all 4 of our cars.
Yes.
And because we're still very much in the learning phase of the new Gen 3 car, and we haven't driven them on such an open circuit either.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of unknowns. So Cam, they've got a run plan for him with the way the direction they're going to go with him, with me as well, and then with the other 2. So then we'll run that first session that way.
Yeah.
And then
feedback
we'll get information back from all the changes that all cross 4 cars are done, and then obviously make a plan from there, go full.
Could I ask, brother, again, it's only for, I suppose, what you see. I mean, and we're privileged to have you sitting here, so you can really give us the fucking inside running, but there is obviously difficult sometimes communications between team members and trying to have the edge, but whereas you guys, it's all pretty open between Tickford, you find? Or, I mean, obviously every driver's, brother, human nature, your races, you want to win, everyone wants for the championship and you want to beat your teammate, but to grow and to really succeed at this new level with the cars, you really, I suppose, want to work collectively with the fortunate you've got 4 drivers and you've got different intake, different levels of experience, so you would like to think that you could really harness that knowledge together, working efficiently to make your team and the cars then obviously.
Yeah, and I think that's a unique thing that we have at Tickford is, the other team is BJR with Brad. Yes, they've got 4 cars, but with us, I think it's quite a unique driving group in, there's no, because Cam's the main guy now. He's the young talent.
Yep.
He's the guy that, the team are looking forward towards the championship. So there's no, for him, he's comfortable in his position in that I'm the older, slightly more experienced, slightly older chap that's got, that can help him with, his mental side of things. And, I've been there, I've done it and all that sort of stuff. Where I'm not really a threat to try and take the spotlight off him. So our sort of, I suppose, the structure within the team, so we end up being quite open with each other. Like I'm happy to help Cam as much as I can.
One of the most experienced drivers on the, I mean, not pissing, we're fucking saying it. I mean, you're like,
I've done a lot of races.
You've done. Mate, there's 4 stars on the shoulder. I mean, it's sort of looking back now, it's really your, I suppose, taking that senior role. In terms of, well, I've got all the runs on the board, done the championship, done that.
Yeah, and I think that's why
give you the guidance or help maybe.
Yeah, and that's why we've got such a good relationship within the group, because Cam comes to me with stuff, I'll say stuff to him, which I think we work really well together in that he knows that I'm not threatened or trying to take command or anything. So he is more open with information towards me. I'm on the other end of my career. I'm happy to give what I can. So we have a super good working relationship. And it's probably
the management would love.
Yeah, and I think that's very unique in at Tickford, and I think they're very lucky that we're sort of together. And my time at Garth was the exact opposite. It was on kill that guy.
Yeah.
We were working as hard to beat each other as what we were to the rep. Whereas
Who was the teammate back then?
Garth Tander, and even with Scott,
right.
like all those through that whole period. Whereas now, because there's that dynamic.
You were with them for 9 years? No, 9 years?
Yeah.
Because you're the longest serving
HRT, yeah.
HRT. The next one probably be maybe Scaife.
Garth, I think. Then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. And you had 3 or 4 different drivers paired with you when you were there? When you were there?
No, well, when I was there, it was Garth and then Scott Pye, but in that time we had like enduro guys and all that sort of stuff as well. But yeah, that was
different dynamic.
Yeah, and it's so different. And I think that's the strength of our sort of thing, and that's why Cam is probably achieving and doing so well. Whereas, if just say we look at the other side of things, so probably, if you look at the DJR or a Triple Eight, who are the top two teams, DJR suffered and had a horrific first round. They had no speed at any point. Didn't even look like being quick. And I don't see...
Why would that be, brother? Because they're the ones really behind. It was Triple Eight with the Camaro and DJR really behind them.
Yeah, I think it surprised the whole field, really. I think everyone was surprised. Ludo, who's the guru, and for them to roll out the way they did and not really have the pace was a shock, I think, for everyone. I think it even surprised them so much. So, look, I'm not sure why. I can only sort of speak on the relationships and what I would see, and I think with the dynamic that we have as opposed to with Will and Anton, I think it's knowing Will, we lived together in the UK for a bit, and Anton, sort of the position that he is in his career, that probably they wouldn't be as open as what Cam Shalom. And then on the other side of things, Shane is a bastard.
Yep. Just pure focus.
And it's 100% about, which is credit to him. It's his character. He's hugely successful.
But that's what some of those riders, that's what I was saying, like that sort of dynamic it's interesting. I mean, it would be deemed, a lot of people say it, I mean, we're probably the best tin top racing in the world. The V8s would be compared to, the touring cars of Europe are shit.
Yeah, the other thing competes in, like with NASCAR. But yeah, we're very, very different. But with the Triple Eight side of things, Shane's so dominant. Brock's very green, coming to his second season. And I can't see Shane being real helpful with Brock. So I think that's one strength that we have at Tickford is that relationship.
Yeah, you can see it. And, well, Willie, I mean, there's you and BJR, which is the forecast, and then after that, Triple Eight it out back down to 2.
Yeah, everyone else is 2, and then obviously Blanchard's with 1. Right. So it's it's a good thing we're able to roll out our testing quite differently to the other teams in that we could run 2 cars on one day and 2 cars on the other. So instead of getting the 3 test days, we really got 5 test days. We got 2 extra days because we didn't run 2 cars on one of the days. So it sort of helped us with that, with getting the cars ready, and also reduce the workload on the boys with having to deliver 4 cars at once.
Yeah.
But it's it has been a hell start to the year for all the teams with the amount of hours. A lot of teams up and down pit lane are losing personnel at the moment because of the workloads on the guys leading into the season, and then with the new car, it's turned out to be quite hard to work on and quite labour intensive on the race weekend. So it's quite demanding. So it's as a category, it's something that they're looking at the moment to try and help and like any business, we're all about people. So we need that strong, passionate workforce, and probably the hours that they have to work, we probably need more passionate employees than the average normal business, because you're asking them to work such crazy hours. So it is a unusual start to the championship with that whole Gen 3. But saying that, going to the Grand Prix,
mate,
great weekend.
Calendar, isn't it, this year for you guys? More than last year?
As in race-wise? We're actually less than what we were. But the way they've spaced them is a little bit different. So they're trying to space and have 3 weeks in between each round now to try and give the teams
a bit of recovery,
that time, because they understood the workload that it was going to be over the off-season. So if saying that, it feels like it was last week when we're at...
It does. That's all.
That's what it's called. That's what I was thinking. When I was looking at the calendar, I was like, I'm trying to work out what races hopefully we can fly to, and it was like,
don't have to fly far this weekend.
No, this is grouse. Well, Johnny's got the choppers there, and we're like,
a chopper from here.
From Greens, I mean, like they flew up there the winter, we were shaking down the Lola, which is going to be on the thing, which at one stage we were going to call on you to maybe drive it. But Jackie's driving it, Jackie Quinney's driving it. So we thought, we'll go, no, there's no way you could drive it. Your day with everything, we're just like, we're thinking about it. It would have been grouse. We're like, no, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to ask him to do it. So he knows if Jack doesn't do it.
I don't mind getting it if he gets a helicopter, right?
Oh, man.
I think you would do it.
John was just the original Wolf of Wall Street, mate. This guy's just the best.
Sounds like a bloke I need to know.
Oh, mate. He's just grouse, mate. He drives his Cobras and his overalls and wears his big Stetson, and he's just fucking awesome, mate. I told you about the story when they're up at the Gold Coast Indy Cars, and The fucking
Yes.
yeah.
Probably don't need to.
Yeah, no, that was kind of funny, the chop on. So yeah, no, he was a ripper blade. So yeah, he's going, and we're trying to see when just tee up and cruise in with him one of those days.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So we'll go, I think on the Friday or Saturday, we'll find out. We'll fly in. May not fly back with him because he'll leave early. We'll just kick on from there. But yeah, no, it's going to be awesome. Looking forward to it. Maybe we'll get to pick you up a little later.
But it should be an interesting F1 race as well with, I think the big surprise in that thing has been the Aston. I think.
Oh, how good is that?
But how good is it that it's Alonso?
So good.
As I say, maybe he's made the right choice for once in his career.
Yeah.
That's all of a sudden now. But they're saying it's a perfect combination of a Red Bull chassis. No, was it?
Yeah,
It was a chassis,
Mercedes
powertrain. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know, man. It's pretty interesting, isn't it? But a bit pissed off that fucking, you got a customer car beating the factory team, man. That's
It's not good for you.
no, mate. It's not good at all.
I think
it's not good at all. I'm happy that Aston's up there. We don't want fizzy drink to keep going straight, but I mean, it's good to see Aston there. It is good. I mean, it's grouse to see what Stroll has done to really rejuvenate that.
It's amazing what $1 billion can.
Well, yeah, it is, isn't it? Did throw a lot of money at it. Well,
The same money doesn't buy happiness, but it sure helps buy the things that do bring it.
very true. Yeah.
But I think the good thing, like this story, wouldn't be as as much of a fairy tale if it wasn't Alonso. I think that
I know.
brings a beauty in it because he's such a raw, aggressive, old school. Like he's my generation, so that's why I'm a huge fan. But he brings it. He doesn't give a fuck who Max Verstappen is or any of those kids. It's like move over.
Yeah, no,
I think that's awesome. I think if they do get the chance and they are wheel to wheel,
I think it'll be.
he's one guy who just roll down the inside and not give absolutely zero.
One of the few drivers that would be as aggressive to Max as Max normally is to everyone else. That'd be cool to see. Probably crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's going to give.
Exactly right. No one will give. Yeah.
But how long's it been since F1 have we had until this such a competitive start to the season? Like yes, the Red Bull has been quite speedy and away from everything, but the midfield, like up and down the, like there isn't a shit team this year. Like there isn't ones that.
Yeah. Oh well, Williams. I mean, well, Latifi's not there, so he's fucking useless, Latifi. So he's cool. Daddy said, no more money spent on you, son. No more. Off you go. Get out. So I still hold him responsible in some way for Alpha W.
Oh yeah, when he crashed.
Come on, mate. Very convenient. Very convenient. Anyways,
If you steaming around on that one.
anyways, doesn't matter. So, yeah. I mean,
I think we're on for a good weekend.
I'd like to think so.
The weather's going to play a bit of a part. It looks like it's pretty up and down.
Is it going to rain?
Well, they were saying the rain.
Friday.
It's going to be a bit how you going. It's going to be a little bit how you go on the rain. I mean, I hope not. I want to see some clean racing, man. I want to think good racing, and as long as Red Bull go into the wall, that's all that matters.
But is that in both? Is that in both wet?
Oh no, I don't mind. I don't mind Checo. Checo's good, and Checo's last year, so I don't think he's going to play team orders. He doesn't care. He's off contract at the end of the year.
Is he?
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, if he doesn't play the fiddle, the game, why would he? He Anyway, it doesn't matter. I talk too much about fizzy drink F1. Don't even want to mention their name, mate.
James makes a good point though. If it rains, then Alonso could be on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who would you say was really? They say Max is grouse in the rain, but I don't think he's as good as Fernando or Lewis. Lewis is awesome in the rain. Who else is really good? I mean, really at that level. I mean, okay, the car's fast. You go in front, so you're not going to spray. So then you're cool.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, hello. That could be anyone. And then you run the car wide. I mean, what do I know?
I did read an interesting article about the Red Bull Aero package, and they've said that now with the DRS, when they can do, the Red Bulls managed to have the DRS open and it stalls the diffuser.
I read that.
That's good.
Before that.
How's 20 Ks or 25 Ks down the straight quicker? I mean, even Lewis said, he goes, mate, it's even when we dominated, we weren't that fast down the
Which is a lie. There is a thing. Someone took that statement from Lewis saying there's no way we were that quick and actually went, okay, here's the numbers of all the Mercedes years based on how much faster you were than the rest of the field.
Yeah.
And in the first 3 years of the hybrid era, the Mercedes was almost double the gap that Red Bull is right now. So that was a complete lie. Lewis has been way more dominant than Max is.
Good. And even just for them to think of that and to like the engineering and the idea to come up with that.
Adrian Newey's just
Fantastic.
man. Adrian Newey's just amazing. He really is for what his geniusness. Think about it, really, because he got poached from was McLaren he was with, and then went to Red Bull.
Yes.
That's what they were saying was the last sort of really dominant years of McLaren. Really, I mean, he's just amazing. He's not going anywhere. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. He's amazing. There's got to be some parity. Come on, you have to. You're gonna have to start questioning it. You have to.
But then how do they police it? Like it, how do they do it? It's because they tried. The thing is, like, and they said with the capping on the budget and everything, and they penalise them with wind tunnel time. But that doesn't help them.
What do you think about that?
That's next year they'll get penalised. That
Do you
doesn't.
think that's right that there's capping? If you're Formula One, you're the absolute pinnacle of the motor industry, the motorsport. Okay, well, if you've got 8, 9 teams, and okay, granted, you've got 2 or 3, 4 teams that have got $500 million a year in budget, and then you got one that's maybe 80. Well, come on, man. Well, then, maybe restructure the prize money that can get them up. Why should you put a cap on it? I mean, to me, I don't know. I think that's stupid. $150 million cap or whatever it is. Come on, man. On the most pinnacle of sport. And now they've got no air time, wind tunnel time, and they've got X amount and all. I mean, again, mate, we're just a simple bloke selling cars in a shed in Keysborough. But from a level that you see it as, I mean, do you think that's right? Having a cap on it? Or to make things fair? Come on, that's boring.
Yeah, but you're saying it's boring as well with Max dominating or being so quick. And is that going to make that gap?
It's made no difference, obviously, has it?
No, but that's the thing is with the way that they're policing it or penalising them, it doesn't affect them this year. Like, yes, they got that cap, but it's only going to hurt them next year. But they've developed this missile that they don't need all that time next year because it's already freaking quick. They just tweak it.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. So it's kind of worth the penalty.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's a great
through. So, but
it's amazing.
Someone smarter than me knows why they do what they do.
There is a general theme across the board that they're making motorsport cheaper at the top level. So the F1 cars have gone from 600 million to 150 million. The Le Mans cars, or the LMDH cars, they're the new LMP1.
Yeah.
They are all like 25% what LMP1 cars cost to make and run as well. Like everything at the top level has come a lot down. I think maybe the people at FIA kind of realized that it was getting a little bit out of hand with how much money was being spent.
But you know what I mean? It's like anything where you're over 18. Checkbook. Let it be. I mean, like I don't know. I don't understand it. I mean, like it's like a bit of a contradictory of you wanting to be the pinnacle, you wanting to have the latest technology, the latest introductions of all of these amazing things which supposedly filtered down into the road cars eventually, that sort of stuff. But that's the beautiful thing, I suppose, with V8s now. You can see the parity of the Mustang, and granted the Camaro now that was crazy. But I mean, when you see them, you know, we've had a couple of the current ZL1s here that we had Ryan's car, then we had the other car here. I mean, you can see that signature how it goes. The Mustang last year did look a bit awkward, I suppose. And, well, we don't get a fucking Commodore with the V8 here anyways. No, that thing anyway. So that, at least now you feel there's a real connection with the cars. You can see that there, especially with the new Mustang going out. But do you feel that you guys have had a bit of a limited cap with what you guys are doing, and that's why they're trying to make it parity so it's closer?
It's ended up being more expensive.
I was going to say, I mean, ideally, because you're trying to fix the problems to try and make things work.
But to actually buy the car, I think it's ended up being quite a bit more expensive than the old car. Like they're saying, like Rod and Tim are quite vocal about the expense of the new car and how much it was supposed to cost and how much it really cost. And so it has been a huge drain on a lot of teams financially.
I think it's a few teams have been saying that when you hear just try to get their head around it all.
Yeah, so it's
your car's all been out,
all the cars rolled in, the guys unloaded everything today at the Grand Prix, so we're all set, roll in there tomorrow.
Was there chassis damage?
Yeah, so there's a rail that comes back into the pedal box, and any sort of impact in the front, that thing comes in, which is a kind of a design issue that as supercars are looking at, trying to work out how to strengthen that front structure, maybe remove that so that we don't have that issue. So any crash in the front, when they now realise it's going to intrude pedal rock and come into the pedal box.
Which obviously wasn't an issue in the last car.
No, it's just design rather than new design. So, yeah, so they're looking at it, trying to work out how they can rectify it, fix it to make it equal for everyone. They can't just do one car and not the others, so they'll come up with
the Camara's the same.
Yeah,
same exactly.
Yeah, same with anyone. So even like Declan's little hit off the start line, had sort of did similar sort of damage to the front of the car. So it's yeah, it's a bit of an issue, but yeah, they're addressing it.
Well, that was an amazing thing, isn't it? I mean, like sadly when you had that, when they brought the car back, it was amazing how many more teams and everyone was around it looking, even the V8 guy, just to see, because it's the first time they're like shit, and everyone was just trying to get as much information as possible.
Yeah, it's the first time. Luckily, I was the first, so it's
well, got it out of the way, mate. Now it's a clean slate for the rest of the year, bro.
Yeah, so then they're trying to see how it damaged and what they can do to make it stronger in different areas and all that sort of stuff. So I think it'll be an evolving thing with this car all the way through this year. There's going to be when someone backs it in, they'll then have this similar sort of issue, and they'll be trying to work out how to do that. So even how well engineered and the old car was, in like 2015 or something, when that guy Premac come through and hit the side of my car.
Oh,
and then broke the chassis, and it came in and broke my leg and everything, and the chassis failed and it cut into my leg.
Jeez.
And it broke my tibia and fibula. And like then they realised, hey, maybe the gusseting isn't big enough, so then they put bigger gusseting in the cross on the side and that side intrusion thing and all that sort of stuff to try and help it. So it's constantly evolving.
Yeah.
Supercars aren't sitting there and saying, oh,
that's it, off you go.
Yeah, so they're conscious of what it is, and as a category, they are always trying to improve on the safety side of things. So yeah, they're addressing it. But it's just a shame that it had happened and that it held out for the weekend. So most of the teams are upset because the inability to repair it. So then you're out for the whole weekend. So it's sort of then all the sponsors and everything sort of then lose out. So they're actively trying to address it and get it sorted.
Considering it wasn't a massive shunt, like you said, in previous cars would be probably fixed within an hour and you're golden again, eh?
Yeah, the guy said it would have been 35, 40 minutes and it would have been out. So it's just, just different, I suppose. Like you said, the old one was a well-engineered dinosaur. So it's just trying to work out how to strengthen this in the areas that it is and make it a bit quicker to fix.
And the consensus amongst all you drivers is everyone's still trying to just get their head around. I mean, okay, we've only had one race. Everyone's probably anticipating, seeing forward a whole different track layout, I suppose, in a sense. Well,
yeah, it's more, the more you drive it, the less you remember the old car. So, like even in our pre-roof, when was it, yesterday? I noticed the other guys aren't referring to the old car anymore, whereas previously, because you'd done so much time in it, and we had such limited, we only had 3 days in the car before the actual first race, so limited running, and then having to do 250 Ks or one for me, you get so much more time in the car, so you've sort of, it's all muscle memory stuff, so you've sort of quickly evolve and develop and work out, the new car and what's happening with that, so you're now not referring to the old car as much and just how to move on with the new car, so it's like anything, you get a sore neck looking back, so this is the car we got. Yeah. So let's work with what we've got and stop saying how good the old one was and focus on how good we can make the new one. So yeah, it's all focused on getting this and moving forward. And I think as we're tuned, especially even over the weekend at Newcastle, you're sort of making the car a lot more comfortable. Like we've worked out, we're going into it too much, but the way we used to run the car, the amount of rake we'd run in the last car and droop and all this sort of stuff, the tools that we used to tune with the old car have a different effect on the new car. So it's getting their head around that sort of stuff and working out what's doing what, and getting the comfortable platform for us to do what we do. And that's something that we've sort of evolved and getting on top of really quite quickly.
And of course a different track circuit altogether, Albert Park. So again,
so this weekend, big thing at Albert Park is stability through the braking zones, because there's such big braking zones, because you've such a high speed.
Yeah, lead into it. Yeah.
Yeah, so like turn one's huge, and then on that, and I'm a big guy. I always focus so much on my braking, like in trying to get the car as stable as I can, because there's no point worrying about any of the rest of the corner until you focus on the actual braking, because everything from that point on, you've got more control of. If you're out of control from the brake, then you got no hope at fixing the rest of the corner. So the main thing is, especially here, and because the straights are so long, you spend more time on the straight than you do in the corner. So focus on getting the car stopped comfortably, and then getting on the power as soon as you can, because every metre or half a metre you can get on the power earlier, because you're on it for such a long period of time as these circuits, it's such a big gain. So braking stability here at initial point is super important. And there's a lot of change of direction as well. So it's quite an unusual track to set up for.
Do you like the track?
Yes and no. It's very much not built for our cars. Our cars feel very clumsy here because there's such high speed corners and there's like long changes of direction, and it's a lot of mass. Like the car weighs a lot to maneuver around, especially that fast chicane out the back. The car feels really clumsy because it's so big and heavy and undertired, but to race, a lot of fun. But so our cars are more suited to not so much Newcastle is a bit Mickey Mouse, but like a Clipsal or an Adelaide, Gold Coast. Sandown is really good for our cars. Those sorts of short, sharp corners with braking and using a lot of curve. But this weekend, it's more what makes this event, I think, is the crowd. Like last year was freaking ridiculous. It was
1,000 people. Oh, crazy, ridiculous.
And that's cool. When you're driving and you see all those people, like you do have a bit of a look around. It is pretty cool. Like it's a big event, and it's good to be part of a big event.
Yeah. It's huge. I mean, like, the big thing is GP2 and GP2, which they've never had before. So that'll be quite interesting.
That will be cool to see.
Yeah, never had it. It's amazing.
That would be cool. Like it's one thing through my junior career. I sort of disappeared from Australia. Like I left when I was 15 and then came back into supercars, and I did all this stuff, but no one really knows because we never had this opportunity. Like there's a couple of Australians, like there's Jack Dillon, obviously, in F2, and Little Smith in F3. So there's like they had the chance to perform, and obviously Oscar in F1, but they have the chance to perform in their own country and bring it home, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't think everyone realizes how big a deal that actually is. So I think that's cool. It'd be really good for those guys to race in front of their hometown.
That'll be interesting.
Good to watch.
Yeah, interesting. Well, you see, I mean, like when we got the tickets for McLaren, because we're going to be with McLaren next couple of days, and we'll go and hang out with you guys, and we'll go back and forth. But
it's pretty much the same McLaren and tick, but
yeah, very much so, mate. Anyway, I like it. A bit involved with both, but in saying that, it was like, just the dynamic will be grouse, because you're going to have Passari there, and it's just going to be, obviously when we got it, we thought obviously Daniel was still with them, so it was sort of half grouse. We're thinking no Damon and no Joe, and we're doing good, but now it'll be interesting dynamic now, especially a lot of cameras in there, more so because obviously he's Daniel's on the grid, isn't he? Yeah, technically.
yeah.
So, I mean, Daniel will definitely be here.
He will. Good luck catching him. But if you can, awesome.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. For a seat. Interesting with Lewis. Yes.
Go find him. Chase him around the paddock.
You might know someone who might know someone. You might know someone who might know him.
That'd be very good. Right, well, how long do we make yellow for? Oh, beautiful. Well, we might wrap it up there. So we'll finish off. Last question. Who would be faster in the other person's car? Would you be faster in Maddox's sprint car, or would Maddox be faster in a V8 supercar?
I think it'd be faster in my car.
You can go lift mine up, but it's not that heavy.
I know it would be more fun. That thing would be so more fun.
And they did do the sim, didn't they? Did we have them up on the sim?
We did put them next to each other on the sim.
On the sim?
Yes.
Mate, that was the highest pressure.
Ricky Bobby and Robbins recent.
My hands were sore at the end of it.
Yeah.
Mate, Blue Steel's just sitting there. No emotion.
What were you racing, Bathurst?
Yeah, Bathurst, supercars and
Supercars.
Who won?
I don't know.
He took me out on the last lap.
Took you out on the last lap.
Doesn't matter how it happened. And just look at the score sheet, doesn't it?
You're listening for the best here, mate. You're listening for the best here, mate. You're getting some free advice here, sir. No, mate, it was honestly, an absolute honour, an absolute pleasure. We are so.
I was just going to ask, which suit do you want me to race with on the weekend? Is it one minute race or?
Yeah, I think I've fucked this one for you, mate.
It's a suit that's real baggy on the weekend.
Yeah, it's this one. Mate, no, honestly, we are just so stoked and grateful to be a part of be a small part of this journey with you, mate, and with you to get behind you, and JC's behind you too, which is huge. So we're really looking forward to good things with you, mate. And honestly, brother, we're just stoked, mate, to be with you, mate. We're so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for letting us be on the helmet, mate. It's fantastic.
Oh, it looks pretty comfortable there.
Oh, mate, it looks mad.
Yeah, you're taking it. We're keeping it.
I might need
I've
it
got Lewis's helmet and Lewis's racing suit, so now I've got to get JC's helmet and JC's racing suit.
We've got one of them on. It's wear at home.
I'm gonna just put the helmet on and just rock up to the race tomorrow. Just walk in. Mate, he's put on a bit of weight. Thank you for being on, mate. Awesome, brother. Thank you, mate. Champion, brother. Thank you so much.
Awesome. We'll see you guys again next week.
Plenty to talk about after this week.